So check this out, man. Um, I was pondering different videos to view this week in terms of what videos I wanted to show you guys and stuff that I wanted to go over, especially me going on this YouTube journey, especially as one that wants to spread awareness as well as just give some entertaining factors about my perspective on different things. So I remember a while ago, and I mean really a while ago, that I did a video on Josh Gabbana, aka Boonk Gang, in which this was a guy that glorified being from the gang culture and glorified, living his life that he doesn't live, obviously the whole entire vanity thing, drugs and being drunk and acting like a complete moron on different TV programs or specifically podcasts. I know for one, he was very much famous for being on Adam 22 Jumper or whatever his name is, the so-called white guy that um is well known for interviewing rap stars. I believe I would say that Adam 22 Jumper is more like DJ Vlad 2.0. You know what I mean? But it's amazing because then, Josh Gabbana, aka Boot Gang, went ahead and, found himself trying to get right with God. He wanted to get out of that whole entire lifestyle he was living, and that he wanted to change himself to be a better man than what he was before. So, he went upon himself, he got baptized, and he did all these different things, right? So this is a funny thing about it. I just was viewing this video on World Star, and his mom comes forward and tells about the way that he really lived before he got all that fame and all those accolades for being who he was, and saying that he grew up in the hood and it was so tough, it was so this, it was so that. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. It just fascinates my mind sometimes that a lot of your beloved rap stars and a lot of these dudes that glorify the street life have never been raised in the streets at all. And honestly, you understand the effect of what it is. When you're from the hood, you're doing the best you can to get out of the hood. That's if you're thinking on a level that you want to see better for yourself, and you want to make change for yourself, and you want to live in a better environment where there's less drama, there's less chaos, and all these different things. There's certain people who stay in the hood who are good people who just feel as if they're cool with their environment, and that's on them. But the whole funny thing about this is when I have viewed this video that was made, and his mom is recording it, giving people the perspective that her son is not from the hood, it reminded me of the movie CB4, where they basically, you know how the movie went, Chris Rock's character, and then the two other guys, the three guys that formed the rap group CB4, MC Gusto and all that other stuff, where they were raised in the suburbs. And once they get into wanting to be rap stars, they put on a whole entire facade and put on a show to make it seem as if they're these big gangsters, they're tough, and this, that, and the third. Now, of course, you understood, just like I understood in the music industry, a lot of these dudes is, quote unquote faking jacks, to take it back from a song back in 96 with you know, I and the producer and stuff like that. My thing about it is this, man. It's just really funny to see things like this, but much more to the story. Let me show you the video. Peep.
All right. So, John Gabbana, Boonk Gang, said that he grew up in the ghetto. He was in the hood. He grew up in the ghetto in the hood his entire life. He had nothing. He had to eat out of trash. He was running the streets. He was just so poor. Let's take a tour of the neighborhood he grew up in. Look at this. What do we have here?
And the funny thing about it is that it's a lot of people who try to rail on the emotions of just everyday folks. It doesn't matter if you're a so-called black person, so-called Spanish, so-called white, but the whole entire idea of saying, I was just like you. I know what it was to be broke. I knew what it was to be homeless. I knew what it was to grow up in the hood and stuff like that, as if they romanticize the hood as this crutch of being the greatest thing that they had to accomplish. And this is not to say that certain people really did grow up in the hood and they made it out, and that others were actually broke and had to find ways on actually getting out of the situation that they're in. But I don't get upset by it. I just find it remarkable because, a lot of these suburbish, kids think it's funny to sit here and, make a mockery off of living in the hood as if like, everything is so horrible in the hood and I had to make it out and stuff like that. There's pros and cons to living in the hood. I mean, in certain ways. I'm not saying that, it's all shining lights and mirrors. Like, I'm not saying that. But I think it's pretty funny when, you have specific, you know, socialites I take on social media and they make a big like they make it fun to basically say, oh, I used to live in the hood and stuff like that. Like it's not really funny to me, but it's just remarkable because I just know it's BS at the end of the day. But whatever.
What do we have here? Does this house look familiar? Wow. Does it look familiar? This is the house he grew up in. This is the house he grew up in. This is the street. Right here. He used to be outside all the time. Him and his brothers and his sister with no shirt on. He had no shirt on at all. And none of the neighbors, none of the football team, basketball team, nobody in school saw those slave beat marks, did we? Huh? Did we? Come on. Come on. Let's tour. All right. Now this street used to didn't be here. This used to be a dirt road. All a dirt road. Now they building new houses here. But this the ghetto. This the ghetto. Straight hood. Let's ask some people. Here's somebody driving by.
And the funny thing about it is, things like that, I know for sure that they created this whole entire Josh Gabbana character, this whole entire Boonk gang character and stuff like that. And like I said, it's not really anything I find, remarkable. I just find it very childish that, you have people who make a mockery off of people who live in the hood, as if it's something that's supposed to be like, oh, yeah, I know your struggle because that was my struggle. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Especially when it's so-called black people that do it, specifically so-called black men. When I hear so-called black men, I know they asses was in the suburbs. It's like, just appreciate being from the suburbs, man. There's nothing wrong with being from the suburbs, growing up in a household where, you was able to have food on the table every day. You come outside and you have neighbors that greet you and say hello to you. And, you have friends that you grew up with and they got to see you blossom from a child to, a young adult. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, one thing that we should do is that we should glorify so-called black people that was raised in the suburbs. There's nothing wrong with that. And I know, in my world, I know that I've heard it a couple of times. Usually when you look at so-called black people that live in the suburbs, there's just this type of thing where they look at blacks that live in the suburbs as bougie or, thinking they're better than everybody else and arrogant and all this other stuff. And it's not. They just work hard for what they have. And I'm not going to say that people in the hood don't work hard for what they have, but let's face facts. I think pretty much a majority of people want to be able to live in peace. Suburbs offers that pretty much. Quiet roads, quiet streets, and all these different things. But, the suburban kids get into that whole entire rap culture thing. And, they want to be able to just take a car drive, train ride, or a bus ride downtown. And, they think they're going to be floating around with people that, they're going to automatically make friends with, but, you don't know everything. It's not always like that. You know what I'm saying? So, just stop faking jacks, man. Stop faking jacks.
Let's ask some people. Oh, good. Look at what we have here. Somebody pulling up to the old house. Oh, yeah. Let's ask. Let's let them know they live in the hood. They live in the ghetto. Let's let them know. Come on. Hello. Hi. Well, I'm the mother of John Gabbana, a.k.a. Boonk Gang. And I want to let you know that Boonk Gang, a.k.a. John Gabbana, say you live in the ghetto. You live in the hood. This is where he grew up at, right here at this house. And he's telling the world that he grew up in the ghetto. What do you think about that? Is this the ghetto to you?
No.
Is it okay? Come. Come. Everyone, look. Is this the ghetto to you?
No, ma'am.
Is it the hood?
No, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm the mother of John Gabbana, aka Boonk Gang, and he says that he told the world he grew up in the ghetto, the hood, his entire life. That's what he said. He said this neighborhood and the house he grew up in is the ghetto, the hood. And he told the world that. And I told him several times to come out and just tell the truth, how you really grew up. Just tell the truth. And he won't. So I'm gonna clean out my closet for the new year because I've been holding this secrets for all the lies he told. And I kept telling him throughout the years, just tell the truth. Yeah. He won't. So I'm gonna do it.
It's funny because these cats go from "Good morning, Miss Shirley" to "I'm boot gang, 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 gang," and all this other stuff. This is not no real lesson. This is just for fun and entertainment. But you know, a lot of these rap stars, I mean, specifically these days, you never know. But my thing about it is, a lot of these dudes that be in the entertainment industry, you think they really from the hood, and I just specifically make this content towards primarily Gen Z, because millennials already have an idea, and I know Gen Z is not dumb. I know that Gen Z and Gen A might be paying attention, but the point is, all of this, of course, is in a facade, man. Being able to reel down on propaganda and lie to the people about where you from to make it seem like you're more of a credible person. You understand? There's always the storyline being drawn in, but I find it entertaining. Like, of course, it's one of those sort of things where I'm not really surprised by it. And, I think it's funny that his mom came forward and wanted to air him out for not being from where he's from. But, to each his own. But make sure you give me what your thought process is in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Peace.